Hello guys, Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, I have for you another Spright deck profile. Yes, I know, I gave you a Runic Spright deck profile last week, but hey, you know what? We topped a winner box this week with a new Spright list that I feel is really good, a lot more enjoyable than the Runic variant, and is something that if you're not looking to play more of the control playstyle, where you don't want your battle phase, you want to play the Runic cards to go and have that edge and always have a level 2, this might be the list for you, because personally, I really like this list. I really enjoyed it. There are some things that I will change, because I realized quickly that there were some things that I didn't want to play, or some things that I might want to reintroduce, or stuff that I want to change. But overall, I really did like this list. I really did like this deck, and this variant of the deck I think is just a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable. So I wanted to show you guys it because of, yes, there's those people out there who want to play the Runic variant, but those people who don't want to play the Runic variant and want to play more of an aggro / control steel build, this is going to be for you. So yeah, we went X1 at the winner box tournament at the Brotherhood games. Thank you for the amazing tournament, by the way. They're always great. Brotherhood is great locals. If you ever have the chance to go there, please do. It's a great place to go to. And yeah, I did really well. I went X1 out of 5 rounds. Round 1, I played against Pure Runic, 2-0'd them. Round 2 was against Heroes. I 2-0'd them as well. Round 3 was against Telement. Literally my only loss, and he had everything, and I lost the dice roll. I lost almost every dice roll today as well, which is kind of funny. Even though I lost majority of the dice rolls, I was still able to play, and he had just kind of everything at every turn because of I was going second, and he was able to establish his board, and then he had like tactical talents to rip my blue game 1, and then game 2 he had like the super polymerization and all of this other stuff to just stop me from playing the game. So it was just kind of like unfortunate, and I didn't even draw my side game 2. So yeah, I got 2-0'd that game. Round 3 I played against Runic Spright, the variant that I don't really enjoy, and that was actually a really fun game as well. We got into, well, game 1 was pretty much just I toed him 3 times. Yes, we can summon toad 3 times on our opponent's turn, and it was very good. And then game 2 just went into this really long grind where we ended up in time. I was 1,000 up, and because I won game 1, even if he summons the level 3 Runic monster, it's not going to save him, because gaining 1,000 life points ain't gonna help when we just draw in game 2 and I've already won game 1. So really fun. And also I stole his Fenrir at one point, and that was kind of funny because the Fenrir is actually a really cool card, and I might even put it in this. So yeah, maybe future lists coming soon as well, depending on how I like it and if I feel like I want to, you know, go more into that kind of build. And then final round was against Telements again, where it was just a really funny matchup where game 1 I won the dice roll, thank you, and I was able to go full combo, set up the triple toad board, and then just steal his stuff, leave him with nothing. And at the end of my turn I actually ended up having only his cards on my board, because we had this funny interaction where whenever I tried to bist him, he actually bisted his own card, so my bist can't come out. So it was just kind of funny there. And then game 2 was just like a back and forth with bestials as well. We actually hit a point where it was just a bestial mirror match, which was just kind of funny seeing us only play 3 bestial monsters. But it was just a lot of fun throughout the entire day, and it was a really good list. I really did enjoy it. I did come 4th out of the top 4 because I was the lowest X1, sadly. Didn't get into that top 3 status, didn't come 2nd or 3rd, but I had the same record as the others, and the person I lost to was also in the top 4. He came 2nd, and yeah, I really enjoyed this deck. I really wanted to show it off, so we're going to actually go into the list now, guys, so you can see what it is and get some ideas for it for your own list, because I really think this is the list to go forward with if you want to have fun. If you just want to play control and just sit there for a while with like some Runic cards, play that build. But if you want to have fun and just go combo crazy, I think this is the list for you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this list and show you guys what we got, because you know, it's a deck profile, we've got to get into it. So, starting off for the Spright cards, I'm just going to show you all the Spright cards right away, guys, because it's Spright. They're all kind of standard at this point. So starting off, we play the standard triple blue. This is standard, special summon it, search a Spright monster. The standard triple jet, special summon it, search a Spright spell or trap. Now searching, what's the card called? Double cross, because that card is absolutely insane. So yeah, this is one of your best ones because of that. And then we also play the standard of 1 red, 1 carrot, and 1 pixies. Some people play 2 carrot. I was one of those people, couldn't put it into 3 in this list, so sadly I'm only playing it at 1. Red is absolutely insane, and I would like to play it at 2 again, but it's just space. Pixies, I cut it and then I instantly put it back in because I realized how important this card actually is. Just the fact of battle-related strategy is absolutely insane, and if your opponent attempts to go battle phase to just run over your Toad, you just go ahead and grab the pixies, so you can be like, yeah, no, you're not running over my Toad. So yeah, card is absolutely insane, really strong, and yeah, play pixies, guys. It's really necessary. And then Carrot came up a lot today actually as well, just because whenever I saw one back row, I would just go ahead and summon the Carrot after I will search Carrot with the blue, and then just go ahead and summon the Carrot so they can't interrupt me with their back row, which is the thing that I was mainly scared of, because it seems like a lot of people aren't actually playing hand traps this format from what I can tell. So maybe that's something I want to lean more into, less hand traps, and try more things with other areas. But yeah, so this is kind of like the standard monster lineup. You don't really change anything here. Maybe second red, Pixies is mandatory, do not cut this card. And yeah, all standard, all Spright cards. Then for other standard spells, we're playing the free Spright starter, special summon any Spright from your deck, locked into level 2s, link 2s, and rank 2s. Card is absolutely insane because it summons blue from the deck. There was a lot of times where I wanted to make Zeus and I only had this, but it's fine, it really did come up, and it was a very insane card. E-Telly for any Spright monster. And then the one standard Smashers card is insane. You need to play R1 just because it's free removal for Mystic Mine. Came up in the Runic match where he summoned, where I special summoned, he activated his Demise of the Land, and then I just smashed it away. Get out my board. So very good card there as well, and it's just a really good removal for like tier elements as well, being able to remove their Sullic, their Kikalos, anything really that's just there, and it comes up a lot, guys. It is a really good card. And then the last Spright card that we're actually playing in the main deck, one Spright Double Cross, because this card, oh baby, this card is insane. This is one of the newer additions to the deck, where this card is literally just Snatch Steal, Monster Reborn, and also just give me your cards and put them on my Xyz monster all in one card, because this card is absolutely insane. What it does is you can target one monster in the field or in the graveyard, and then either attach it to an Xyz monster you control, well, a rank 2 Xyz monster, take it and put it into a linked 2 zone that a link 2 points to, or special summon one monster from Evil Graveyard to a zone a link 2 points to. So pretty much, this is a Snatch Steal. This is a Monster Reborn. This is a, I'm going to go ahead and take your Telement and put it on my Xyz monster card. This card is absolutely insane. It's a one-of. I want to play more, but I can't justify it because you don't really want to draw multiples of it. And we do search it a lot. Like, honestly, I search this every time, especially when I make Toad board, because if you have this plus Elf, then that means you're using Totally Awesome 3 times in that one turn. And the majority of the time, your opponent's not going to be able to out a triple Toad board. So it's just really, really strong. This is an insane card, mandatory one-of in Spright now. And yeah, if you can play it, because I would not play this deck without it now. Even in the Runic build, I would play out one just because the fact that, yes, you're going to battle phase with your one-of card. I'm then going to take your monster. Oh, you summoned a really good monster that I can just take? Cool. I'm going to take your Dragostapelio. I'm going to take your Lulucolis, whatever the new Telement fusion is. I'm going to take whatever the hell I want and put it on my board. This card is really strong, really good, and insane. Like, I can't stress this enough, guys. So yeah, that's all the Spright monsters and Spright cards though. Like, this is the perfect ratio, I think. Like, maybe a second double cross if you want, and maybe a second red. But honestly, I like this ratio. I really do think it's correct. And yeah, don't cut pixies. Just don't do it, guys. You will regret it. But going on to cards that aren't Spright monsters, we are playing the Nimble package. So we're playing one triple Beaver with 2 Nimble Angler. This engine is very important now because we actually play the new Spright Link monster where it just sends the Nimble Angler to graveyard and then summons 2 beavers from the deck. So pretty much all you need to do is just open 1 beaver or open 2 level 2s, so a level 2 of a Spright monster, and then that can equal full combo. You get to go ahead and make Gigantic, you get to go ahead and make all these stupid plays, and you can guarantee ending on Toad as well every single time. Engine's amazing, engine's insane. You play this engine in this deck, it's so good, it's amazing. And also, like, both of these cards, even if you draw them, even if you draw the Angler, you can always just go ahead and summon Swap Frog with Gigantic Spright, and then just return it to your hand, and then special summon Swap Frog back, discard an Angler, and then just summon 2 beavers from your deck. Like, honestly, card is very nice, card is very strong. This engine is a must in this deck now, in my personal opinion, unless you're playing the Runic build, but then you're playing the Runic build, so it's not really necessary. But really good engine right here, very strong, and it's the whole reason I'm playing this variant. 2 Swap Frog because we're still playing Totally Awesome. Personally, I think this is fine. Like, you only need 2 really, because you just summon one of Gigantic Spright and then just send the other one to grave, summon the elf, and then just summon the other one back and make Toad. You don't it doesn't really need any more explanation than that. You only need 2 for it. You can play the 3rd as well if you really want to, because opening it isn't bad, because this and a Spright is still technically, as long as just the Spright is Spright Blue or Spright Jet, is still technically Toad, but I think 2's enough. You don't really need to play more. If you draw it, you draw it, and I would rather not have the 3rd because I feel like that's more of a brick in the deck. And then the last level 2 we're actually playing, 1 Soul Scissors. I'm gonna be honest, I think on paper this card is really insane, but in this deck, I really do have a decision of, do I want to send this to grave, or do I want to summon this from deck, or do I want Toad or Angular? And honestly, I think the card is great. I think the card is absolutely busted, because of the fact of the matter is, if a monster is destroyed on the field, even if it's not your own monster, you can special summon this from the graveyard, and when it's special summoned from the graveyard, you just pop a card. That's great and powerful and so nice to have, but at the same time, would I prefer this with an elf, or would I prefer something like a Toad, or would I prefer the Angular engrave to go ahead and go combo? Like, that's my problem with this card. I do like the card a lot. I'm probably still going to keep it in the list, but I'm just finding difficulty, you know, figuring out how to make sure to make this consistent, like send it to graveyard turn 1 while also doing everything else. Like, the only way I've seen or figured out is like literally I have to open literally a beaver with a foolish barrel. If I open a beaver with a foolish barrel, I guarantee this, Toad, and also Angular all going off. But if I don't draw foolish, then I really just don't get this. I just go for Toad combos normally because I feel like that's better. Because of triple Toad is just insane. Like, I'm not gonna over exaggerate it. It's really good. But going on to hand traps now, we're playing the triple Ash Blossom. I think this is still the best hand trap in the game. Yes, it doesn't do a lot against T-Elements, but you gotta remember, we're in a format where it's not just T-Elements. Like, there's still the Spright decks that are out there, the Spright Runic especially, where they can just go ahead and draw 3 out of nowhere. So this card actually really does come up there. That you can still use this to hit certain T-Element cards as well. You could use this on the Kikelo, so I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. You could use this on like the Rhino Hearts, stop them from sending to grave. Like, it has little areas where it comes up and is really strong. But yeah, I just think it's the best one. It's really good against the rogue decks as well, so I probably wouldn't cut it. If you do go up against tier though, I do normally end up starting it out. 2 Effect Veiler, because it's Veiler. I felt like playing the 3rd, I did want to, but when I was testing it, I chose to take out the Pixies at the time, and I was like, what card could I realistically take out? And I thought, okay, you know what, I'm just going to take out the 3rd Veiler. I'm happy with it. Like, I can put the 3rd one back in whenever I want, but, you know, it's just, Veiler's a great card. It's good against, it's especially good against T-Element, because whenever they make their Kikelo, just drop the Veiler, and it's like, you don't get your search, you can't use this effect to summon, so it's just a really good card. And hell, in the round 3 match, I opened this both games, and even though it was my only play technically, it stopped him every time. It made him pass turn, giving me a chance. It's just sad they had like tactical talents and stuff and super poly to stop me from playing on my own turn, because it made him literally just pass. Like, this card is really good. I might bump it back up to 3, I don't know, maybe play 2 Ash Blossom, but this card is good. Then going on to the other technical Effect Veiler, we're playing triple Imperm. It's better than Veiler just because it's not a monster, so they can't triple tactical talent you. Technically, one of the best hand traps in the games, could be considered better than Ash Blossom just for the fact that, yeah, it doesn't trigger tactical talents. So this card is just really strong, really good, love it, no real need to explain. And then the new addition for hand traps, which I think every lineup should actually be playing, we're playing 2 Magna Hunt with 1 Juris Worm. These are insane. Now, I'll be honest, yes, these can't hit everything. These can't hit water monsters. These can't hit light earth monsters. These can't hit spells and traps. These can't hit everything. But the fact that these cards do so much in any matchup against T-Element, in any light or dark matchup, even in the Spright matchup at times, is absolutely insane. Like, just being able to special summon a Maguhan, to banish their T-Element, and then activate its effect so at the end phase you get a Juris Worm from your deck or graveyard is great. Like, this is probably the best hand traps in the game right now, just for the fact that, yes, it's not going to get rid of everything, but it's gonna get rid of the problems, which are light and dark monsters most of the time nowadays. So just having the Magu Heart that just says you can add the Drissworm to have the additional hand trap. It's a hand trap that searches another hand trap, I might add as well, is just really strong, and even gives you a body so you're able to go into like Sprint with a level 2. It's just really strong. Like, honestly, I think this is the best hand traps to come out in years. And especially now that we're in a format with tier elements, and every dark deck is a graveyard-oriented deck, I feel like these cards will keep coming in and out of play for the foreseeable future, just for the fact that if a dark deck that interacts with the graveyard comes out, these are going to be put in. If a deck that needs the graveyard and has light and dark monsters in it comes out, they're going to be put in. If these cards just in general are great against anything and are great in Dragon Link, which they really are, you'll play these cards. Like, honestly, amazing cards. I really do love them, and every time I saw them against tier, it was just like, nice. So yeah, but that's the hand traps. I'm only playing 11 hand traps. I don't think I would play more, really. I could bump it up to 12 by putting the third Baylor in, which I kind of want to do, or maybe put a third Magu Heart in, just because technically it's a keep recurring hand trap thanks to the Drissworm, so I can just keep adding back the Drissworm every time I have a Magu Heart. But right now, this is the perfect hand trap lineup for me. I didn't really have any issues, but there are still things that I might change going down the line as well. But going into just like miscellaneous spells now, we're playing the triple crossout designator with the one called by. This came up. These, I drew them once. I won't lie, I literally used it on a Magu Heart just so I could prevent them from summoning a monster to stop them from dying. Like, I don't think this card is actually necessary right now because people aren't playing a lot of hand traps. I will probably cut it for maybe Prosperity. I might even try Desires just because the extra deck is kind of needed in this decks, and the main deck can be like shifted and altered. So as long as I get turn 1 and just go full combo, I don't really care about my main deck. The extra 2 cards could be more useful. But Crossout Designator is definitely probably something I'm going to take out. Keep the call by for life though. I'm not getting rid of this card at all. Yeah. Those are just like hand trap interaction cards. Then we've got 2 board breakers. This is obviously to go with the crossout designator, where if we are up against a deck that plays Dark Ruler, then we can just set the crossout designator, and then Dark Ruler can just trigger and just, well, Dark Ruler won't trigger because we just flip the crossout, call Dark Ruler, and then they can't stop me. But I feel like Dark Ruler is actually just coming out of the format now because it just, there's so many ways to play around it that it's kind of like just irrelevant at times. But hey, it is what it is. But Dark Ruler at 2 in the deck, it was used I think once. I think I used it once throughout the entire day, and when I used it, it was alright. It was alright. Like, I used it to negate a Fenrir. Yeah, it was. I used it to negate a Fenrir just so I could kill the Fenrir without having to worry about him banishing my stuff. And then the last card in the deck, we are playing 1 Foolish Burial. Yeah, send Nimble Angler to grave, full combo. It's literally 1 card. No reason not to play this card. But that's the main deck. Like, honestly, I really do like the list. There are things that I will change, most likely, as I said, such as the crossout designators, maybe putting in the red, maybe putting another hand trap, try Desires, maybe put Prosperities in. Like, there are things that I am going to try and test more as I go along with this deck, because I do like this deck. I like this deck a lot. I might go back to tier again, because tier isn't terrible. It's actually probably the best deck in the format even now, without the Ishizu stuff. But I think this is the second best deck. I honestly really like this deck. I think it's really cool, and it can contend with tier very easily. So yeah, but going on to the extra deck now as well, guys, just so you guys can see that, we are playing the 1 IP, kind of mandatory, just there. It literally, I only ever made it on my own turn, so I could make Avramax on my own turn, so that they couldn't do stuff on their turn to stop the IP. Like, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but hey, stuff happens and stuff be stuff, right? 1 Sprint. This card is the entire combo piece. This card coming out in Darkwing Blast, along with whatever the trap's name is, the Double Cross, is really, really strong for one reason, because it means 2 level 2 monsters equals technically 3 level 2 monsters on its own. And it's also got a nice additional effect as well, just for the fact that it can go ahead and detach a monster material from an Xyz monster you control. and then just compulse a card that your opponent, well, monster that your opponent controls. So it's got like little added benefits as well, but the main thing that you use with this is literally just normal summon Beaver, special summon an Angler, summon this, and then send an Angler to grave to summon 2 more Beavers. That's kind of like the whole point behind it. It's just a Foolish Burial for any level 2 monster, and yeah, it's a very good card. The card comes up a lot, and it also enables the Spright FTK. So if you do go against Spright players that are playing the FTK, be careful, they have this. But yeah, this card is really nice, it's really good, and I think it's only needed at 1. I didn't really need a second at all throughout the entire day. So yeah, like, card's really nice, card's really good. It's Foolish Burial, essentially. It's Lavarval Chain for level 2s. There you go, Lavarval Chain. Continuing on with the extra deck though, we're playing free Spright Elf. Standard, it goes great in the grind game. You special on your back your level 2s and you get to play the game. Another new addition, 1 Pit Knight. Like, this card, it's very nice. Like, the amount of times that I made this over IP, just for the fact that, yeah, we can literally just go summon Elf, summon Pit Knight into the zone that IP points to, and then whenever we use IP's effect to revive, we can just chain Pit Knight, target our opponent's monster, put it to 0, and also negate its effects. So technically, every Elf effect is also a negate. And I really liked that. And Pit Knight also has like a nice little additional bonus where if it was destroyed and is in the graveyard at the end of the turn, you just summon it back. So like, there's not really any reason not to play this card. And yeah, I really liked it. I made it almost every time, and every time it worked, it worked. Like, there was even a point where my Elf got negated, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But I had Pit Knight with it. So they attempted to use their Spright Jet. This was round 4. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trigger Elf. I'm going to chain Pit Knight because that's how the card works, and I'm going to gate your Jet. So it's a really good card. It's a really nice card. And yeah, I really just liked it. It's just really strong overall and really did come up a lot. Like, I think it's actually a decent card. Like, I haven't tested it till now, and first time I'm playing it, really liked it. And now on to rank 4s. We played Avramax. It came up. It was good whenever it came up. And the tier player that we played in round 3, gotta stay away. So I just literally had nothing. Like, at that point I was just like overdealing over the Avramax. I needed to draw something good to be able to come back, but the Avramax was my safe stronghold. But then I got hit by the Goddess, so I lost that there. But the card's still good, the card's still strong. 1-0 burst, I'm cutting this card. I'm cutting this card. Like, it just doesn't come up enough. It isn't as good as it used to be. So I'm probably gonna cut this for maybe, like, I don't know, a Nightmare Unicorn. I'm gonna cut it for just something else. Like, I don't think it's needed. I wanted to test it, but I never needed to summon it, and whenever I thought I could summon it, it was just like, it wasn't good enough, and the Avramax was just better. So yeah, I'll probably cut this. I might put in like maybe an Appaloosa for more negates. I could put in like a lot of different random things that I feel could be a lot better. Like, I just don't think it's really needed anymore, and I'm probably not going to play it. Going on to XCs though, we played 2 Gigantic Spright. This is standard, detach material, lock out both players for level, link, and rank 2s, and also just special summon any level 2 from the deck. You're normally special summoning your Swap Frog. 1 Onimaru for removal. As I said, it's a good card, it removes things, it's always going to be nice. Also got a reprint coming out of Magnificent Mavens. 1 Sky Cavalry, this was a last minute change from it originally being Cat Shark, and I do not regret that. I think this card is better than Cat Shark, and definitely needed because it helps you Zeus, and the fact that you can Zeus, it's really good. I'm not even going to lie. 1 Toad, one of the best cards in the entire deck. Like, just being able to summon this 3 times, we'll use it 3 times in 1 turn. It's a very nice, so very good there. And then 1 Downard and 1 Zeus for board clearance. I summoned this once, and I did it, and I was able to clear the entire board against tier, but I did it the way where you go Gigantic Spright and then this, but he just top decked out of it, and I was just unable to do anything from there on, really. So yeah, extra deck, I think the only thing that I'm probably going to change is probably just cut the Zoroboros and change it out for something else. Figuring out what I want to play right now, don't know, but we'll figure it out. I feel like everything else is really, really nice though. Now, going on to side deck, the option that can literally be changed to whatever you want. Like, this can literally be anything you desire. We are playing 1 Red Resonator. This is for time on the round. We did summon it, but we didn't do it for time. We just did it because we had to start. Pretty much, I put this in against the hero player game 3 because it hit the game 2, because I was like, you know what, I just need an extra card. We have 9 minutes left. If it does hit that point where I need the life, I can just summon him with Gigantic Spright. And I ended up doing it turn 1 because I started and was like, nah, I'm not going to lose to time. And then it just ended up putting me on 10k and then just won that match there. 1 Scythe, I never drew the any artifact cards, so it didn't really do anything. 1 Pankratops, didn't draw this at all either. 3rd Dark Ruler, double Cosmic for like T elements, backrow decks, Runic, everything along those lines. It's just a really good card, and especially very good against Select because it banishes it. 3 Evenly Matched. This card is literally the only side deck card I drew all day. Card is absolutely insane. There was one point where I literally just kept drawing it. At one point, I just kept banishing the board. Like this, that was against the Runic Spright player. So yeah, triple Anti-Spell, never drew it, and then triple Sanctum, never drew it when it came in. But yeah, that is the entire list, guys. Honestly, I really do enjoy this list. I think it's really good. I still think it can do with some innovation, with some changes probably. Like, honestly, it's a good list, don't get me wrong, but there are definitely still things that I can do to make it better, and I am going to strive to do that because I think this deck is a lot of fun. It is really cool, and I really do enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well from your testings that you may be doing with it, because there's all sorts of things you could do with this. I might try the adventure package, I might try less hand traps, I might try more hand traps. Like, there's so many things that you can actually do with this deck and try with this deck that it is just a blast to play. It's a lot of fun, and if you guys want to play it, I highly recommend it. It's a very fun variant of Spright to play. It does a lot of combos. Its turn 1 is always really explosive, and yeah, you can always end up with some follow-up as well thanks to the Toad, because the Toad can give you back the Nimble Beavers and stuff, and the Swap Frog and another Angler, just so you can have more resources there. But guys, that is all I have to say for this video. I hope you did enjoy this 4th place deck profile from a winner box. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Robout1 signing out. And Spright are still a lot of fun. Not the best deck of the format, but a lot of fun, and the 2nd best deck of the format. I'll see you guys in the next one. Robout1 signing out. Later on.